All right. So from here, let's just talk about where we want to breathe. We're going to bring our hands to our ribs. We're going to relax the shoulders. So really let those shoulders just kind of drop down. And then as we inhale, all I want you to do is feel the ribs expand outward. And exhale, press all the air out. Feel the ribs kind of drawing to the center of the body. Let's try that again. Inhale, opening the ribs outward. Exhale, letting those ribs close. Let's add into that movement. So we're going to add in, inhale, we're going to grow tall, ribs expand. Exhale, you're going to stay tall, ribs come together. Okay? So let's try that again. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, stay as tall as you can as you press all the air out and keep pressing that air out the whole time, feeling that belly have to connect. Do that a couple more times. Inhale, expand the ribs out. Exhale, closing the rib cage, staying tall, feeling that belly have to push out that last bit of air. Last inhale. And exhale. And just let those hands come down by their sides. And all we're going to do is we're just going to reach one arm up to the ceiling. The other hand is kind of down by the side. We're just going to bend over to the side. Again, can't really bend too far. So do what I say, not as I do. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Do as I say, not as I do. Lift up, go to the other side, and stretch over. Actually, this feels so good. You know, being so sedentary for so long. Let's do that again, other side. Oh, I'm so sorry. And keep stretching. And let's do that other side one more time. And then we are going to come up. And we're going to rest those arms all the way down. We're going to be kind of in that parallel hip width apart. And soften the knees. Try not to have them locked here. So not that they're bent, but they're just soft. And then from here, all we're going to do, we're just going to lift up onto those toes. And then we're going to lower back. Okay? So let's inhale as we lift. Think of growing tall. Exhale as we lower, but you're going to keep the height of your body, like it's still trying to reach to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And again, up. And down. Balance work. Up. I heard that Patty's been working on this, right? So up and down. So that's why I'm like, okay, this is perfect. All right, let's do 3. Up and down. Think about that growing tall through your center as you come up and staying tall through that center. Last one. And down. So we're going to lift onto those toes. We're going to hold. So don't lift quite so high. Keep the heels lifted as we bend the knees. And then stand tall, keeping those heels lifted. We're going to bend. And up. And bend. And up. Keep those heels lifted. Try to hold that balance. Hold that belly in. And last one. And rest. Chris, can you go in a circle? I'm just using this as a prop to show all of you what I kind of want you to think about when you're doing the balance work to help you hold your balance. So if you imagine that this circle was your body, right? You turn it this direction, so I can, this is the front of my body, this is the back of my body here. Right? And if I imagine that the front of my body where the handle of the circle is my belly button, and the back handle of the circle is the spine. As you exhale, if you think of drawing both those points to the center of your body, right? So you're not only just pulling in on the front, but you're also pulling in from the back. Almost like those 2 points are coming together to meet. So that's what I want you to think about when you're doing your balance. So we're going to do this again, but we're going to do it from the external position. So we're going to come to our baby. We're going to imagine that circle in our body. We're going to imagine that front handle being our belly button, back handle being the spine. And And we're gonna, again, inhale as we grow tall and lift onto those toes. Exhale, here's where we're pulling that belly and that spine towards the center of the body as we lower. Inhale, up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's add the arms open to the side. Let's inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And I don't have to tell you, right? If you're on a really squishy carpet, or if you're on these mats like we are, it's harder than being on the hard floor, right? Because we have a lot more shifting through our feet. So it becomes a little bit more challenging. And down, let's hold. Okay. So we're gonna lift up those heels again. We're gonna bring the arms out to the side. We're gonna lift off those heels, just kind of a demi-tasse lift, right? Not very big. And then we're gonna keep those heels lifted as we bend. And straighten. So let's inhale as we bend. Exhale, belly button and spine draw to the center of the body. As you exhale, stay nice and tall. Inhale. Inhale. And let's do 3, 2, and 1. Lower back down and rest. All right, we're going to stay kind of in this baby V position. We're going to take the right leg and just step it forward a little bit. Okay? Come back to it. So we're in this still external position, but my right foot is in front of the left, and it's pretty far in front. Okay? So all we're going to do here is we're going to lift the heel of the front foot so that front leg is going to bend. We're going to create this plank-like position through our body. Right? So we're going to stay strong and plank-like, and all you're going to do is you're going to bend deeper through that front leg as you lean into it, and then you're going to exhale as you press. So as you lean into it, Phyllis, actually let the whole body come with you. There you go, keeping that body plank. And press back up. And lean forward. So your body is not bending forward. You're leaning into it. You're feeling all the weight come into that front leg. And press it up. And bend and lean. And exhale. And bend. And let's do 3. And 2. And on the last one, let's lean and bend forward, or lean forward, bending that knee, hold. Lift that chest a little higher, pull those shoulders down. You should feel all your weight into that front quad. And then from here, we're just gonna pulse forward, forward, and up. Little pulses with that leg, right? Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1, and walk forward with both those feet. We're back to our baby V position. Step back or forward with that opposite leg. So now I have my left leg in front. External position on that left foot. We're going to lift that left heel, make our body a plank, and then we're just going to lean into it. And press through the foot to help bring everything back. So you're engaging the belly, you're lifting your body back, but you're really having to use that quadricep, use that leg to help push yourself back. And the deeper you bend that leg and lean forward, the more you're going to feel that. The more you're going to feel that quad. And up. And lean forward, nice, deep lean forward. Keeping that body nice and plank-like. Keeping your balance. Remember, I haven't worked out for 5 days. And let's do 4. And 3. 3, and 2, and hold. And those little pulses forward. So you're bending, little presses, bending and press. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press it up. Step forward. And we are going to go to a nice open position, external open position. Okay? So we're going to, you can start with your hands wherever you'd like. They can just hang by your side. You can come your back, your hips, whatever feels comfortable. Right? So all we're going to do is we're going to start with that plie. So as we plie down, I want you to be careful here that you're not hinging forward. You're actually trying to stay in that nice straight position. We're going to exhale as we straighten the legs, and that's where you're going to feel that belly and spine draw to the center of the body. Inhale, grow taller through your spine. Exhale, connect to that belly and spine, center of the body. Exhale. So even though we are standing tall, if you just were to use your feet here, there'd really not be much work, right? So when you stand, you want to feel like you're pressing your legs out of your belly and tightening the belly. And that is what is standing. So your feet feel like they're really not involved. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And just go down as deep as you feel is good for your body, right? Doesn't have to be, even if it's just a little bend, just this nice little bend, it's totally fine. Clearly, the deeper you go, the more challenging it is. Does your knee pop? You know what? So let me tell you, your right foot is turned out too much. There. All right, so let's do 3. Exhale. 2. And 1. We're going to bend. We're going to hold here. So you're going to take both your heels. You're going to lift them. You're going to hold, and you're going to stand tall. You're going to lower those heels down. Okay, let's try that again. And bend, lift, grow tall, and lower. Bend, lift, grow tall, and lower. Let's do 3. Lift. Remember, as you're growing tall, your belly button and your spine. Remember that circle that I showed you. Okay, Chris? Last one, we're almost done. We'll stretch. Come down and hold. All right, so we're just going to reverse that. All right, so legs stay straight. We're going to lift the heels. Keep them lifted as we bend. Lower the heels and then stand. Lift, bend, lower, and stand. Lift, bend, lower, and stand. And up, bend, lower. Let's do 3. Up, bend, lower, and stand. 2 more. Up, bend, lower. Last one, and up, bend, lower, and stand, and bring it together and shake this out. Awesome. All right, so that should have felt like work, right? I know, but still work. All right, so I meant to tell those of you who are online with us today that we're going to be using some toys today. So I have the next toy that we're going to use is the ball. If you don't have the ball, you can actually use the roller instead. You would just put it horizontally under your pelvis and come down where the ball can go. But if you have a ball, grab a ball instead. And then we're going to be having some weights, and the roll we're going to be using a little bit later. We're going to come down to the floor. So let's go ahead and just bring ourselves all the way down. And we're going to do a nice little curl down before we begin. So we're just going to come into this position. We're going to bring that ball out in front. And we're just going to slowly scoop that belly. You can feel your pelvis rock back so that you're now behind your sit bones. And then from here, we're just going to lift back up, and we're going to lift that ball at the same time as we come to that nice straight spine. And scoop the belly as we lower the ball. Come to your scoop. And you can do this deeper than I am. Again, this is that core work that I have to be a little careful with. So I'm doing it very small right now, just so that I'm not aggravating anything, all right? And then scoop and lift. Now we're going to take this scoop and we're going to bring it all the way down. I'm going to use my hands to go down again, just because of my core, right? But you can do that without using your arms. And then from here, we're going to place this ball underneath our pelvis. So this is where if you didn't have the ball, you would place the roll horizontally under your pelvis. So when we lay here, what you should feel where that ball is you should feel that your tailbone is just on the other side of the ball, just barely, maybe even just slightly touching the ball. But the ball itself is really within that hard packed pelvis region, right? So where your sacrum spine would be. So from this position, hands are going to stay down. And all we're going to do is let our spine hang like a hammock. So if you think about where the ball is as being one pole of the hammock, and you think about your shoulder blades as being where the other pole is, the spine that lies between those two places is going to hang like a hammock. It's just going to relax there for a minute. There's no major connection here. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your spine is in that scooped position. And we're just going to take a couple of breaths. So just a nice inhale. Rib cage is expanding. And then we're just going to exhale. Let that spine deepen into that hammock. Inhale again. And exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. All right. So we are going to, keeping this hammock position, we're going to go ahead and lift those legs up into a tabletop position. So now we're into a little bit of our abdominals, not huge, just a little. Keep those hands down. We're going to think of a big rubber band squeezing our legs together right at our middle of our thighs. And then we're going to imagine that that rubber band is super tight. And we have to press it apart. So we're going to flex our ankles. And as we exhale, we're going to separate those legs, pretending to press that rubber band open. We're just going to separate those legs open. And then we're going to bring it back like the rubber band is snapping them closed. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. So both feet are coming apart. You're not leading with the ankles. So I don't want to see that the knees are in and the ankles are open. And you're also not keeping the feet together like a frog, right? Everything is coming apart. Exhale. And the generation of the movement is coming from the thigh. So even if you put your hands there, right, and kind of press the hands away, it's a good way to really feel what I want you to feel. Let's do 3. 2. And 1. And in. So we're just going to take that right leg. We're going to bring it back down to the floor. So from that, left leg is in the same position. We're going to now do the same exact movement, but I want you to think of that big X on your body. Shoulder to opposite hip, shoulder to opposite hip. So right now, we're going to think about the opposing X from the leg that's up, right? We're thinking about the other line of the X. And we're going to hold stable to that line as we exhale and open the leg out. Inhale, let it come back. And exhale. So your goal here is to say, stay centered on the ball. Try not to let yourself move around on that ball. And let's do 3. And 2. And 1. Come up. Let's lower that leg down. Let's pick that other leg up, come into that flexion. And we're going to do the same thing. So now we're thinking of that opposing line. And we're going to exhale and inhale. And if you're keeping, so my right leg is up. So the X line that I'm thinking of is my right shoulder to my left hip. And I'm thinking about keeping that connection as I open and close this leg. And open. 3 more. 2. And 1. Come in, set that leg down. Come back to your hammock, relax the spine, because I can guarantee you've gotten a little tense through there. So just relax the spine. You can kind of wiggle the ball around underneath. Let that spine release. The next one, it's the same movement we just did. The only difference is we're not going to have a foot on the floor. So the movement of the leg opening and closing is going to be a lot smaller. So we're going to lift those legs up into tabletop. And we're going to flex those feet again. And we're going to go from opposite or one leg to the next. Okay, so we're going to start with the left leg. We're going to open that out. Bring it back. Go to the right leg, open it out. Think about your X's. If you want more challenge, you come to fingertips, like 2 fingertips, lifting the arm, or you can lift all together, which I'm not going to do today because, again, that puts me way into my core, and I can't do that. But feel free to lift those arms and leave them just kind of right alongside the body, right? And still doing the work and trying not to let yourself wiggle around on that ball. Really hard to do. Super hard. And let's do 1 more on each side. Exhale. And exhale. And then we're just going to hug those knees into chest. And you're just going to let that spine, nice big stretch of that spine. So on this one, if you can, I would really like for you to try to keep those arms floating here. And again, I'm not going to, do as I say, not as I do. All right. But try to keep them floating. We're going to come back to our tabletop, but we're going to pull the knees in just slightly. So we're not in that true 90 degree. We're actually kind of slightly in, knees towards the chest. And as we exhale, we're going to shoot those legs. We're going to pull our feet to a flex. We're going to shoot those legs out through the heel. And then we're going to inhale as we bring it back in. I'm going pretty high, again, because I have to be careful with my core. You can take those legs a lot lower, okay? Exhale. And exhale. And out. And 4, 3, 2. We're going to hold them out there and slowly scoop that belly deeper into a hammock and lift those legs towards the chest. Inhale, lower them back down. The lower you go, the harder it is. Exhale. So I want you to just make sure when you're scooping the belly, that it's the scoop of the belly that is generating that lift of the legs, right? And if you can, keep those arms floating. And you can go much bigger than I am by really dropping those legs away and feeling that core connect. And let's do 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. And rest. Can you believe I mean, I haven't worked out in 5 weeks. My muscles are shaking. I'm feeling so weak right now. All right, we're going to slowly take that ball out from underneath. I'm going to roll our spine all the way down. We should have this nice feeling of openness through that place where the ball was, like your pelvis is just opened out, right? And that's what you want. You want all of those muscles around there to be completely released and relaxed. So we're going to bring ourselves up to a seated position. And we're going to set up for our next work. So we're going to grab our weights and we're going to take this roll and we're going to bring the roll into the long position. And I'm going to change the timing. We're not going to do that yet. Because we just worked the core. We'll go back to the core work in just a minute. So since we just did that work, let's give the core just a little break. We'll do our hamstrings first instead. So on this particular one, go ahead and place the roll underneath the knees. And we're going to bring ourselves, and again, you can roll yourself down nicely here, up into a roll down. And go ahead and bring yourself all down to the mat. And we're going to place our feet on that roll. And I'm preparing myself for pain.
So much.
Oh man, I haven't done hamstrings in a long time. Okay, so we're going to start. We are going to start with scooping our belly. So we're going to think of that, kind of pulling that belly button in towards that spine. And as we do, we feel that low back flatten, and we feel just the weight of the pelvis, just the weight of the pelvis come up off the floor. And then we're just going to roll it back down. Okay, so let's just do that 3 times. And exhale, scoop that belly, feel the weight come up off that pelvis, and then just roll it back down. And up and down. So on this next one, we're going to go ahead and we're going to lift all the way to our bridge. So we're going to start with our scoop, press down and into the roll as we lift up into the bridge, and then slowly releasing from the shoulders as we roll ourselves all the way back down. And the goal here would be not to push the roll away as you roll back down or as you roll up. So let's exhale. Press down and into the roll. Send the knees out over the toes. Come to your bridge. Hold. Pull those heels slightly towards those sit bones. And then exhale and release the spine. And yes, I feel those hamstrings. And up. Press down and into that roll. Knees out over those toes and slowly release. And 2 more. And up. And exhale again. And 1 more time. And up. And slowly release it down. And relax. Go ahead and just send those legs out to extension. And then from here, just kind of give them a nice little stretch. I go into a flexion with my ankles. That helps me stretch those out. And we're going to then pull that roll back under, bringing our feet back to the top of the roll. And from here, we're going to just add on. This time we're going to add on some movement, but we're going to stay in the bridge as we do. So first thing we're going to do is curl up. And don't feel you have to come all the way up. So I am not going to come all the way up today. So I'm going to stay kind of in this little hammock-like scoop position. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to think of pulling my heels to my sit bones until I come to the tops of my ball of the foot. And then I'm going to roll it back out until I find my heel. And then I'm going to scoop my belly as I draw that roll back under, heels to sit bones, and back to my heels. Pull the heels in. Reach the heels out. Pull the heels in. Reach the heels out. You have 2 more. Pull the heels in. Reach them out. And pull them in. And curl down. So what becomes really hard about that is the roll gets further and further away from it. So then it becomes harder to pull it back in. Oh, goodness. Okay. So I am not going to do this next one on the roll. Please feel free to do it for yourself. Okay, it's much more challenging on the roll, but it's also a lot more challenging to your core. So I'm actually going to put my feet on the floor. We're going to do this last one. It's our march, and we're going to curl up, and we're going to come to our plank position. Okay, we're going to hold on to our plank. And if you need to, you can even hold your hips with your hands, because that helps to really stabilize your pelvis. And then we're just going to lift one leg up into our tabletop and then just lower it back down. The other leg comes up, so we're going into our march. And up, and up, and up, and up, and really concentrate. Try to see if you can keep that pelvis perfectly stable. And 2 more on each side. Last one on each side. And lower down. Woo. And breath. Good job. So you can kind of push that roll off and away. We're going to take one leg up to the ceiling. You can curl up and just stretch. So kind of come into that flexion. And then bend that knee, set that leg down, lift that other one up, flexion. Bend and rest. All right, we're going to take that roll. And we're going to come onto our side. So we're just going to work a little inner leg. So you're going to come with this arm underneath you, so to support your head. And we're going to bring that top leg so that it's just resting on the roll. It's a really comfortable position. So from here, we're going to concentrate on the bottom leg. So we're going to flex that bottom leg, that foot, right? And we're just going to lift it just so that it's hovering above the floor. Nothing big, right? Just a little hover. We're going to reach through the heel of that foot as we then lift that leg up. And lower it down, but don't let it touch. Just to that hover again. Exhale. So you want to concentrate here on lifting from the inner leg. So think of a nice heavy book sitting really high up into that inner leg. And you're trying to lift the book. And up. And up. Up. Good. Let's do 4. And 3. 2. And hold on this last one. Lift it as high as you can. Lift, lift, lift. Hold. And now pulse it up from there. Pulse, 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 pulse. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And lower down. And we are just going to do that on the other side. So nothing big here. I want to have time because I want to do some more ab work and I want to do some arms under our weights. So I don't want to lose sight of making time for that. So we're going to take that arm, reach it under, bring that top leg in front. Nice, comfortable position. Let yourself totally find that for right now. Right? And then flex that bottom foot, hover it from the floor. All right, from here, reach through the heel, lift it up. And down. Remember that book, right? So I have to move my position because that's kind of stretching my underneath part just a little too much. You guys stay relaxed in your head and shoulders. And reach through that heel as we lift. And again. And up. And up. And really think on that lift. Lift it as high as you can. It's that last few inches that really gets into that inner leg. Let's do 4. And 3. 2. Now on this last one, lift it up. Lift it higher, higher, higher. Hold, pulse it from there. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Up, up. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And lower. All right, so we are going to go ahead now. We're going to come into this lengthened roll position. Put your weights where you can find them. And then we are going to lay on that roll. So sitting on one side, We're gonna roll it all the way down. And we're gonna have those weights in our hands. Find that place, got it?
Yep.
Head and pelvis, totally supported on the roll, right? Got it, it's right. I almost got to reach. Okay. So we're gonna lift those weights to the ceiling. And first thing I want you to do is be able to find that place with your feet where you feel stable. And I want you to have a little wiggle room, right? So for me, I'm a little wider than my typical hip width apart, but it's enough for me to feel that I have to still create balance, but not where my feet would be all the way together and it would be difficult for me in position, right? So from here, all we're going to do is keep those arms straight, lower those shoulders down, our back, and then we're just going to inhale as we let those arms open to the side. And exhale as we lift them back. So as we're opening the arms out, don't let yourself arch away from the roll at the ribs. So I don't want the rib cage to pop up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Inhale. So for those of you that have shoulder issues, you can do all of this work without the weight. So just doing the movement is good enough. Not to mention we're on the roll. So that in itself is also a challenge. And open. Open.
Move away from it.
Oh, you're too close.
Yeah.
And let's do 3. And 2. And 1. Come up, turn so that the weights are butt up against each other. And then from here, we're going to open again, but we're going to bend the elbows, reaching the elbows away from the body as we bend them. And then exhale, press them back up towards the ceiling. Inhale, reaching the elbows apart, maybe getting to this point where you feel a little stretch to your front of the shoulders, and then press it back up. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. We'll just keep doing this. And let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold here. Let those arms open to the point at which you start to feel the weights become heavy. All right. And we're going to hold them here as we just go into little circles with those arms. So the circle is happening from the shoulder. We're holding those arms nice and straight. And we're trying to keep our core engaged so that we're not wiggling around on the roll. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's switch the direction. Keep reaching those weights away from the center of your body. Don't worry about making it super big. Let's do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bend those elbows. Let those hands come all the way down. And you're just going to drop off that left weight. And you're going to take your left arm and just let it hang out on the floor. We're going to take the left leg and we're going to pick that up to tabletop. And we're going to send the right arm to the ceiling. So we have balance through our opposite line of the X, right? So my left shoulder to my right hip is my balance line. And then from here, we're going to take the right hand with the weight and we're going to bring it towards the knee as we bring the knee in towards that weight. We're going to tap. We're going to send them away. Leg goes straight. Arm comes behind. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Good, let's do 4. Try to keep that balance. 2 more. And 1. And lower those down. Go ahead and drop that weight to the floor. Pick up the other one. Right hand comes to the floor for balance. Right leg comes to tabletop. Left hand comes to the seat. So we draw that knee and that hand towards each other. Whoa, I'm about ready to lose my balance. And reach it out. And pull it in. And reach it out. This side is definitely my more problematic side. Wouldn't think this would be as balancy as it is, but really concentrate on that balance. Let's do 4. And 3, 2, and 1. And lower back down. Pick up both those weights in the hands again. And we are going to come to a nice big hug tree. So the arms are going to be staying in this position. The movement's from the shoulder. As we open the arms out, the shoulders are what's opening. We come to a little stretch to the front of our shoulders, and then we exhale, and we think of hugging that tree. Inhale. And exhale. And exhale. And open. Feel that stretch on the open. Try to keep those arms in that same rounded position throughout the movement. Let's do 4. 3, 2, 1. Hold. Straighten those arms up. We're going to press the arms back slightly so that we feel that the weights are behind our head. Keep the weights together and then just bend the elbows. Bring the weights towards your head and right behind it, and then press it up. Squeeze the up. So it's that when you're lifting the weights, you come to that squeeze of the triceps on that straight arm. And up. You want more work here. Come to your toes. Find the balance. A lot more balanced work on your toes. You have to keep that core really engaged. And squeeze those triceps up. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2. We're gonna lift halfway, and we're just gonna pulse it down on this little kind of half pulse. Keep squeezing those weights together, squeezing those hands together. Really squeeze those triceps. The more you squeeze your hands and your weights together, the more you should feel this in the tricep area. Let's do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and straighten those arms up. Lower them down alongside you. And we're just going to do a little bit here. We're going to release the spine first. So all we're going to do is roll our spine up into our bridge position. So we're going to lift off that roll. And we're just going to roll it back down. We're just going to do that 2 more times. And up. And roll it back down. And up. And roll it back down. And release. All right, last exercise for the day. We're going to roll off of our roll. And then we are going to come into a 4-point kneel position. If you are not good with 4-point kneel, you can use a chair and come to standing, okay? You can put your roll underneath your hands here. You don't have to do that. You can keep your hands down. If you're on a chair, you would be standing with your hips back and your hands on the chair in front of you. All right, from here, come to our toes behind. We're just gonna work a little glute to end class. So we're gonna keep our ankles flexed and we're gonna press one foot to the ceiling and we're gonna hold. And I want it up high enough to where you already feel the glute connecting, right? Shoulders are down, you're pressed up and away from the roll. And we're just gonna pulse that foot up to the ceiling. Pulse, 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 pulse. So glute here, keep that belly lifted from the floor. Keep your chest pressing away from the roll or the chair. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that leg down. Let's just do that on the other side. So we're gonna press that other leg up. Find the glute. So I'm pressing my leg up high enough to where I already feel my glute connect. And from there is where we come into our work. Keep that belly lifted. Keep your chest lifted from that roll. Let's do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Come into a frog-like position on the floor. No, I'm gonna lie. All right, I'm gonna take my left leg and I'm gonna open it up to the frog. But my right knee is still directly underneath my hip, okay? And then from here, we're just gonna lift that leg up and we're gonna kind of open the hip at the same time. So we're gonna open the hip from that direction. Hold. Now we're gonna pulse it up. So side of the glute here, glute med. Up, up, up. Keep that belly lifted. Let's do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Straighten yourself out. Left knee comes underneath. Right knee opens out. We turn. We kind of open the hips in that direction. And we find that glute med and then we pulse it up. And last little bit here, let's do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, send that roll away, and just come into a frog-like position and let's sit back into our stretch and just relax here. And then we're going to come up, bringing our hands forward. We're going to bring our knees back together and we're going to come into a nice little plank position, lifting those knees off the floor. We're going to press away from the floor and we're just going to hold here. So just feel yourself breathing. Pull the shoulders down your back. Keep that belly lifted. Almost. Another 15 seconds. Do it in a minute. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower those knees. Open them back out. Go into your child's pose. You can keep those arms in front of you, or you can reach them back towards your feet. Bringing your head down. Bringing those hands to the floor. We're going to curl up. And we're going to just sit in a cross-legged position. And actually come with your soles together. They don't have to be super close to your body. Just relax. You'll let those knees open. Okay? Sit nice and tall. And then you can grab onto your ankles. You can put your feet on the floor. We're just going to let our spine kind of round. We're just going to come to this nice stretched position here. You can keep those knees opening out. Oh, I can't tell you how good this is. And go ahead and pull that belly button in. Round yourself all the way back up. And you're done for the day. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for her